say hello to Ilene Kruger!
She's back! I'm back at Temple Adat Shalom, and Angelina Jolie is back on the market. So if anybody's interested in someone with 22 kids from 35 countries, she's available. And so is Caitlyn Jenner, just in case you're not sure what side of the fence you're on. So before I go any further, I'd like to thank the following people. I would like to thank Rabbi David Castiglione. Isn't that Italian? It doesn't sound Jewish. I don't see any crosses here. And I'd like to thank Cantalori Frank. She's so thin she could fit through a harp, but she's so cute. And I'd like to thank Aaron Barish, because I should. And I would like to thank Lou Harris, that square dancer. If Susie wasn't so cute, I would do-si-do with him all the way from Poway to Santee. And I would like to thank the decorating committee. Never mind. What, did Michael's Crabs have a sale? Unbelievable. And then I would also like to thank, last but not least, Edna and Wolfie Porras. Where are you, Edna and Wolfie? Please stand up. No, really, please stand up. Oh, sorry. How many years have you been married? 66 years. 66 years. That's incredible. I want to thank you because you make my husband, Jonathan, and me feel tall. Yes, I met Jonathan on Match.com. He's my second chance. And I'm his last chance. So before we go any further, I need to let you know, I had to change some of the names and places, not to protect the innocent, because the cases are finally closed, but to protect me from the really, really guilty. So, I was married to Shmeen for 10 years, 3 hours, and 6 minutes. Jonathan was with Shmelly, Shmerly, Shmindy, and Shminda. He was a little busy. I'd say that's a little cray-cray. Maybe I'm a little cray-cray. So, after Shmeen, I had to go back on the dating scene. So I went on J-Date, and all these guys emailed me and they said, we have so much in common. So I looked at their profiles. Since when did I become short, fat, bald, and with glasses? Actually, a lot of you look familiar. So, my friend Delmar Shemebi said, Adana, you need to cast a wider net. So, I ended up trolling, and I went on Plenty of Fish. And I met a nice Jewish guy, Shmeev. And he was a funeral director. And he was tall. Well, tall for a Jew. He was 5'10". So that's like a Jew and a half, right? So I started dating this funeral director, Shmeev, and the only problem was that every time before we started making love, he would say, don't talk. That's really hard for me. And then he would say, just lie there, perfectly still, with your hands on your side, and a slight smile, and your eyes wide open. And then after we'd make love, I'd look at him and he'd be sleeping like this. Definitely a 9 on the creepy meter. But in my defense, I broke it off after 2 years. All that sleeping in a coffin gave me a really stiff neck. You know, and I don't get them when they look like Adam Levine, who's LBJ, a little bit Jewish. I get them when they look more like Sydney Levine, my gynecologist. So I went to Sydney last week, and Sydney gave me a prescription for $85. I looked at him and I said, Dr. Sydney, is my vajayjay, that's 62 years old, really worth $85? And he said, yeah, and you better start kegling, because Spanx can only hold so much up. So I look, 72, 73, mailbox open, mailbox closed, mailbox open, mailbox closed. If I took my Spanx off right now, it would look like a lava cake exploding. So I figured I would go to the gym, schmooze, and I get in my car and I turn my GPS on, and I hear, head southwest. So I panic. Holy Schmidt! I don't know what southwest is. So I think, to the left is the Pacific Ocean, and to the right are the casinos. Sequan, Verona, Valley View, the fundraiser at Richard Stegman's house. And then I say, I don't know whether to go left or right. And it's sort of like the Jews and politics. Some of us are going to the left, some of us are going to the right. It's like we're all on one big defective shopping cart. So, listen to the GPS and I pick the wrong southwest, and then I hear, when possible, make a legal U-turn. So I make a U-turn and I continue, and then I hear, in a half a mile, once again, make a legal U-turn. And I said, you know what, lady, I did exactly what you told me to do. No, you didn't. You're lousy at directions, and you can't cook. So, I start pressing, and all of a sudden I'm FaceTiming myself. And you know what? Nobody looks good from that angle, except maybe Melania Trump or Lorraine Thal. So, I start pressing again, and I zoom in, and I'm one big nose. Memo to self, always carry a tweezer. So, I finally get to schmooze. I look for a parking spot because I don't start exercising until I get in the gym. And I run in the gym and I quickly pee and I get into my Zumba class and I'm so excited. And I look around and it's the usual cast of characters. It's the Chico's woman to my left with the perfectly coiffed hair, silver, and it doesn't matter what the lyrics are, and it doesn't matter what the moves are, because all she does is the cha-cha. Shake your booty, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. I better not tootie, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. And then in front of me, of course, is that perfect blonde. She's got the ponytail, she doesn't schwitz, she glows, and she's really perky. So every time she moves, the music stops at the exact same time her body stops. What are the chances? I'm looking at myself going, whoa, I hate her. And then I look to my right, and there's Zumba Mama. We've all seen her. She's wearing a big pink sweatshirt that says Zumba, but on her it says Zumba. And then I look and I notice there's a little powdered sugar and jelly on the side of her mouth. She must have stopped at Yum Yum Donuts before she came to class. So I go to leave and I feel my tuchus and I feel it's still slipping. And then I think about my friend, Shmita Schmeller. And she said, if you have one tuchus, you can't go to 2 weddings. Okay, at this point, I'll be able to go to 2 weddings. So I leave and I figure I might as well make it the best day ever. And I go to visit my mother-in-law. Okay, and I know you're all surprised that I have a mother-in-law. Because let's face it, at this age, I thought my husband's parents would be in the great Reformed temple in the sky. Is there a building fund there? I don't know. We'll have to ask Phil Feinberg. So, my mother-in-law is doing great. Her name is Shmi, but I call her Shmeev. She's 102 and still going strong. Isn't that incredible? Amazing, 102. She really is a remarkable woman. In fact, right after the election, she marched. Well, she didn't actually march. She did a forward march with her walker. Women's rights, cha-cha-cha. To vote, cha-cha-cha. Kosher bacon, cha-cha-cha. In my lifetime, cha-cha-cha. So I drive to Seacrest Village. I pick up my mother-in-law. We go to Milton's Deli because I have a coupon. And we get to Milton's Deli. We sit down. The waitress walks over and my mother-in-law says, "I'd like the shrimp salad with no tomatoes, but extra shrimp." Okay, that's like saying, "I'd like the caviar, no cucumbers, extra caviar, please." So the waitress rolls her eyes, and I'm thinking, the tip just went up another 5%. And then she says, "Oh, and it's my birthday." So the waitress looks at her and walks away. And then my mother-in-law, in a very loud whisper, says, "That way I get the free dessert." And I'm thinking, the tip just went up another 5%. So if I can get out for under 30% from Milton's Deli, it's a victory. So we put the extra shrimp in the seat in her walker, and I drive her back to Seacrest. And then I get in the car, and the phone rings. It's my son. I have no regrets being married to Shmi. I have a wonderful, caring, compassionate kid. And the other one, I really, really love a lot. My daughter called me the other day, and she said, "Hi, Mom. Listen, I quit my job, and I'm thinking about moving back home." So she said, "What's all that noise?" "Oh, nothing. I'm just getting a quart of Weight Watchers ice cream out of the freezer and a ladle from the silverware drawer." Tell me more. Just tell me more. You know, and my daughter and I do have a lot in common. We're both funny. We're both attractive. I like men. She likes men. And my son and I have a lot in common too. We're both funny. We're both attractive. I like men. And he likes men. He's gay and Jewish. What are the chances? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have been so upset when he was dating a non-Jew during high school. So I really love my kids, but you know, I always call them and I leave them really long messages. I know that surprises you. And they just text. All they do is text. And they keep it very short. They say things like, "JK, OMG, WTF." And yet I still pay their cell phone bill. I don't really understand it. So the other day, I was missing them both so much, and I decided to call them. I want to share this with you right now.
Hello,
Hello?
it's me.
It's me, it's your mother.
I was wondering
why you don't call.
These years at last.
I must have called 1,000 times and you never call me back.
Everything.
LOL. Well, my spanks are killing me and my time is up. Thank you, Temple Adat Shalom.